Good evening. It is I. I have returned. 5 days away is like a million years on the internet. It's like being 5 days in the real world is like being on that planet for an hour in Interstellar. It really is. I swear. I haven't even really watched YouTube stuff since what, Friday was the last, or no, I didn't. I don't think I streamed on Friday, so it's Thursday. I have only watched memes and stupid stuff. Hello! It's been a while since we've spoken through this anyway. How are you? I'm doing well. There's been an update, especially in World of Warcraft. You can see it behind me. This is what I'm going to talk about first. I'm excited. I really am excited. I only watched a little bit of it. Enough to make me sick. No, I'm kidding. It came out yesterday and I was a little busy, so I didn't get a chance to watch it, all of it, nor did I do it on stream. So I'm doing good, doing better today. Just Easter and all that. Needed some time to myself before I did this. Had some interviews. We'll see where those go and see how it ends up. But yeah, I'm doing fine. All right. So I do want to, I don't want to spend too much time because I'm excited. I've wasted enough. I feel like I've wasted enough time not getting around to this sooner. So I just want to jump right into the World of Warcraft thing. So I'm going to turn the music down a little bit on myself, I guess. I don't need to go over there. So the new expansion is called Dragonflight. There's an entire stream you could watch. They revealed it yesterday. I'm not too interested in sitting around listening to a round table of a bunch of people I don't really know talk about the game. I'd rather do the talking. I mean, unless there's something in here that's not there. Oh boy. They're going crazy at the subway. So yeah, wow, look at that voice crack. That's why I wanted to water. Okay. So yeah, the Dragonflight. Was that what it was called? I scrolled too fast. Yeah, World of Warcraft, Dragonflight. The Dragon Isles Awaken. I watched the trailer. I think I'm going to put it on still anyway. Just because it's not like I was really paying attention. I was cutting a video at the time. I just remember a guy climbing a tower. And then some dragons. So, I think that's basically it though. Oh boy, slow down. Is this the trailer? You know what? I might be better off just pulling it up on... Might just be better off pulling it up on YouTube. Might run a little better. YouTube. I have in my hotbar anyway. What am I doing? Dragonflight trailer cinematic. Yep, that's about the length of it. Look at that. Works way better. Well, at least on my end. That's what matters. Oh my god, we haven't seen that before. No, I'm kidding. 10,000 years ago. Everything's 10,000 years ago. Now, because I don't fact check myself before I say anything, that's when, like, yeah, that's when that happened. The Sundering. So I'm guessing that's what that was. I'll wait till we see them. These guys make me think of the ice people in Heroes of Might and Magic 3. They had all the giants and stone construct folk. I feel like I'm supposed to recognize his voice. However, I don't, unfortunately. And I don't know if it's because I'm not smart enough or something. But I assume it's Alex Straza who... I don't want to spoil it, but... It might just be a new voice, too. But I feel like I'm... It might just be a voice actor I know, too. I recognize, I should say. I don't know anyone. This is cool and depressing. And also kind of scary. Because God in heaven, I would not like to come across this in the wild. Just a stone man. So, this... Oh, son of a gun. I like this because I don't know if they were showing this earlier or what this is supposed to be, but this made me think of those beaches where they have the algae that changes color. But yeah, I think this is pretty cool so far. I like this. I want to go here. Like, I hope this is the main hub right off the bat. I'm already, like, I'm one of those people who get excited over nothing for World of Warcraft. I started pretty young when everything can be when everything is still able to be looked at through rose-colored glasses. Boy. Oh boy, I'll just put that down for now. I'm busy. Not Allison, so I can do that. I love how they're all broken. Like, is he gonna end up being the last of his kind? I wonder if we'll end up waking them up somehow, bringing them back. All we gotta do is find the missing pieces of his people.
The world is healing, but her fate is yet uncertain. Together,
Whoops.
we shall be Azeroth's protectors.
All I've said
once
so
again.
far was this is just pretty cool. That's it.
Here, the new age of dragons shall begin.
I think I hope I asked the question though. I'm a bit of a dope. The green one is like, how's she getting back? Was that covered in Shadowlands? Does that get? I don't know. We'll see. That's what I'm going to do after. Got me all excited. We don't need to. I just looked at it. Now, if I don't seem like hyper excited, it's because I already seen it. I just wanted to show it, let you guys see what it looked like. It's got me excited. I am. Why? Because I am a sucker for this. It changed gaming for me. It showed me how bored, how much. How do I put this? Oh, That doesn't look good. Anyway, it changed how I decided to spend my days gaming. And instead of wandering around trying to find some new thing to occupy my mind with, yeah, I'm going to start with this. I could just log on and be part of an evolving story that, you know, new content came out for and would be there at the end of the day. Whereas at the time, I was basically just playing Kingdom Hearts over and over and over again. So, yeah. They have a new playable race and class. They go hand in hand. You can't swap them out. You have to be a Drakthir evoker if you want to be a Drakthir, which I think is kind of cool. There's some sort of range DPS and healer, and that I like. So I guess I just click on these little buttons and it works. So you can choose your allegiance. Drakthir evokers seek to forge their own path in Azeroth and willingly fight for the Horde or the Alliance. That, oh my god. Drakthir evokers seek to forge their own path. Yeah, I like that. That's what I liked about the Pandarans, that you got to pick either side. I feel like that should be standard for coming with the new races now. They're new. They get to choose where they want to go, even if it means they have to give up their heritage. That should be worked into it somehow. I mean, that still happens to my mother's people. Dominate the Dragon Isles. I might be wrong about that, but that's what I keep getting told. Dominate the Dragon Isles as a newly awakened Drakthir evoker. World of Warcraft. Yeah, why did I gotta repeat that? I'm gonna read everything that I haven't read yet. Dominate the Dragon Isles as a newly awakened Drakthir evoker. World of Warcraft. That's because that's not. I'm supposed to be reading down here. I'm an idiot. I'm sorry. Drakthir evokers can fight from mid-range with claws and fiery breath attacks, devastation, or draw upon the life-giving magic of renewal to bolster their allies. I just can't stop thinking about my dry throat. Because I drank so much coffee today. And then we spent like 2 hours talking before this. I really got to stop talking so much before I start streaming. I feel like that might be the issue. Delve into the story of the Drakthir in a brand new starting experience and learn how to use your new abilities before venturing forth. Oh my god. Drakthir evokers can empower their draconic abilities through magic, charge up your attacks, and unleash them at the right moment to maximize their effects. Because that I don't think I was paying attention to that when I showed it. So yeah, you only have 2 specializations. That's what they were talking about here. Devastation is the DPS one, and I guess they're both ranged. Do they show it here? Yeah, cool. So this is the ranged one, DPS. They're going to show the healing one in a second there. They shoot these little flower petal things. And okay, that's pretty cool. I like that. I'm a fan of anything that's an actual effect upon the world, that like wave attacks and cone attacks. I like cone healing. I'm not gonna lie. I liked it back whenever I like one thing I liked from shamans was when you could I think you could chain heal with them. Or am I thinking of monk healing? But I know you could chain heal in one of the two. Druids, we just have our HOTs and all that stuff. There's also this Dragon Rider thing. I listened long enough to know what this is about. We're gonna have new abilities where we get to like spin and dash, and apparently Guild Wars already has that. So if you've been playing Guild Wars, you're already going to be prepared for that. There's different colors. I don't know why it's working so poorly here. I blame Opera. Use your new riding abilities to keep yourself and your Drake in the air, but beware. The denizens of the Dragon Isles will knock out inexperienced Dragon Riders out of the sky. Wow. That's crazy, man. As you grow in skill, you and your Drake will master new maneuvers, fight against exhaustion and pull of the earth, soar above the Dragon Isles. Okay, continue to improve your dragon riding skill at max level by hunting down ancient glyphs and advancing your new dragon riding skill tree. Once you reach maximum level, you can conquer additional challenges over the Dragon Isles to unlock even more customization options for your Drakes. The Dragon Isles are the ancestral home of the dragon flights of Azeroth. When the world was broke apart and the Great Sundering, magic drained away and the land went dormant. As the Dragon Isles awaken, so I doubt. No, not good. Anything now? Back? Okay, cool. Sweet. All right. So, this first thing, I just read it. Alexstrasza is going to call us back, help the Dragonflight first, and then eventually we're going to boil down to helping Rathian. That's big guy from Cataclysm. That's his son, if I remember correctly. He used to wear a thing on his head. Now he doesn't. Now I'm loud. Are you kidding me? Oh, look at that. I am loud. The microphone is setting up. Hobo ASMR. It's either I whisper or I stop fighting the urge to scream into the microphone like an asshole. Why do I want to scream into the microphone? Because I think that's the funnier thing to do. And I encourage everyone to do it no matter how juvenile they think it is. I think we're good to go. We should be good to go. I shouldn't be loud anymore. In fact, even if I leave it here, because of how close the microphone... Anyhow. Thank you. Thank you. So, are we good to continue? Good. So, I guess the way the expansion is going to start off is Alex Strauss is calling us to the aid her red dragon flight. Alex Strauss is the one that catches the dude there falling from the sky. I believe that's Alex Strauss. I haven't played Shadowlands is when I came back. I skipped Legion and the other one, and I was an Ice King fanboy, you know, the Lich King there. I know I called him Ice King. I was just being a terrible jokester. What is it? Incurable prankster. And dragons have never been. I don't even really use dragons in my campaigns at home. I prefer giants. But yeah. Rathian. I know who that one is. That one is what's his face's son. Man, I really want to make the joke. I want to make a joke that basically starts with, and the only reason I know that is because and you can fill in the blank. The Verdant Grasslands are home to the mighty Maruk Centaur tribes. God damn it. Who long ago forged a bond with the Green Dragonflight. God damn it. But since the death of Ysera, the Green Dragons face an uncertain future. Isn't that the big green dragon flying with them? Well, she's in the Shadowlands. She could just come home. I doubt she can. She died. I don't even know what happened to her while we were there. I know I brought her back to life while we're there, but holding the magical archives of the Blue Dragon Flight, the Azure span stretches from coastal Tusker villages through a sprawling forest tundra. I love that. All the way to looming spires of ice and snow. Tribes of gnolls and furbolgs call these ancient lands home. That my favorite region in Wrath of the Lich King there in Northrend. God damn, what do you want? Not something on the computer was making the Streamlabs there. Tribes of gnolls and furbolgs call these ancient homes. My favorite place in Wrath of the Lich King's Northrend was the I don't know the name of it, but it was the west and the Boreal Tundra. I don't think that was it though, because I feel like that was the name of the eastern side, but I don't know. What do I know? Been so long. That's why I'm excited for Wrath of the Lich King to do it again at an age where I can actually remember some of this stuff, as opposed to when I was just burying myself in the game at the time. I wasn't paying attention to anything really besides the prettiness, so I can just distract myself. But Thaldraszus, the seat of power for the aspects and their flights. Thaldraszus stands as a shining beacon of the Dragon's Kingdom. Is it? So this is the main place. It is also here that the Bronze Dragon Flight watches over the timeways, ensuring both the past and future of Azeroth remain secure. I don't know what this is. Good lord, what's up? Everybody's messaging me today. It's crazy. Ensuring both the past, yeah. So this is going to be for the Bronze Dragon Flight. I think I'm going to enjoy this place a lot. Hopefully there's a lot to do with like the time travel pathways. I always enjoyed that. Forbidden Reach. Located off the coast of the Dragon Isles, the Forbidden Reach was fashioned by Neltharion, the Earthwarder, to serve as the training ground for his ultimate soldiers, the Drakthir. But in the aftermath of a terrible battle, the island has lain dormant and abandoned for ages until the return of an ancient enemy caused the Drakthir to stir. And that's us, isn't it? Right here. Yeah. Okay. I don't want to be his son. That's gross. Well, 1 second. Might as well go through this. Look at them sometime. Good Lord. Okay. All right. So now we're back to dragon riding. How did I skip an entire thing? Oh, I went up. I was going to ask, how do we get back to that? I'm not really interested in this. Flying is flying is flying is flying. Some people have pointed out that Guild Wars has flying like this already. So, at least they're trying something. At least they're to do this. They probably had to keep their hands to themselves. So you know what? I'll give it to them. I know it's nothing innovative. It's innovative in WoW, a game that's been out for God knows. It's been out for so long, it's re-released itself. Oh, what? Oh, I thought you were talking about cats. Cats are always watching too. But yeah, there's a new expansion coming out for WoW, Dragonflight. And we're just covering this part. This is the thing I've been looking forward to. The new talent system. I saw a little picture of this. No, read more. So that is something I'm gonna look, because I like a lot of points that you can just put in this stuff, even if it doesn't help. I mean, maybe not so many, but I was a really big fan. Like, my favorite time having played was, and I know it's probably not coming back, but being able to turn into a tree. I'll take the 30% slow speed for the boost in healing, and I get to look like a tree. Like, that's what I want to go back to. So, talent updates. Oh, Joyce drops me. Radier, cool. Another UI intensive project. This was intensive? You guys got rid of it. You should have just left it. We've been working on is an update to the talent system. We want to look at it once more and find ways to provide players with more choice in shaping their character's abilities. It's taken you long enough. Currently, as you level up, you receive new spells and skills, but that progression is ordering is entirely predetermined. So we started looking at creating a system that would provide players with a wider set of options. No, oh no, I don't know if I like the sound of that anymore. Now that I read that and I see this, like, I'm starting to see my abilities, and it's like, Jesus, you're gonna make me buy this? Oh, well, you know what? I asked for this, didn't I? One of the ideas that we returned to was that of trees. In this case, it's actually 2 trees. I'm going to go and... one tree focuses on class utility, while the other focuses on specialization and the expression of your role, whether that's doing damage, tanking, or healing. We want choosing your specialization to be important and want to make that to make sure that when you choose it, it affects the tree in some way. Here's a tip. Just honestly go back to the way it was. Maybe I'm just haven't played enough since what was it, Legion began, because I really just did 1 week with I really just did the first week, and then came back for Shadowlands. Just go back. That's why I'm excited for Wrath of the Lich King. It's like, this is basically when I started with Burning Crusade. Right now, when they announced, well, it would have been like 3 weeks before, but you know, you get my point. We wanted to make sure that the new system allows players to take combinations of spells and abilities that may not have been possible in the game before. This opportunity also allowed us to inject more art and fantasy into the actual talent UI itself. I don't care about that. I'm sorry. because this isn't that artful. I'm going to be honest. I know it's a work in progress, but like, unless you're going to start jam packing things into there, this is the art that's basically always been there. Some of these icons have never changed. Some of them have because they're new, and some they haven't changed since then. But if I can't turn into a tree for infinite period, if they take away the slow speed, I don't care. Give me 10% bonus for healing. I don't just let me turn into a tree. God damn it! I'll never stop being bitter about that. We want players to be able to tinker with the trees and make a lot of changes while not necessarily feeling like you must fully commit. Well, that's kind of what was great about it in the first place. You could do that. The power really is coming back to the player. It's not something we want people to feel locked into, and so one of the things we'll be preserving is the ability to change talents at the same kind of frequency as they do now. You mean you want it to go back to the way it was? I feel like they're like, we did make a mistake. We can't fully admit we made the mistake. We'll go back, but we'll make it a little different. And no expensive respec costs. Like, you already got rid of that. We don't have to worry about that anymore. You could just go back and keep the things that made it good now. They'll be able to, are you kidding me? It's not something yet locked into. Players should easily be able to go from their raid night to playing in arena matches by taking advantage of a new feature that allows them to save and load their build. That's perfect. They'll be able to name it, save it, and load it very quickly. Perfect. Talents are about having a breadth of options, and we want to give players the ability to hold the building blocks of what make up their class and spec and put them together in a way that works for them. I want to be able to just burn people with Moonfire. This is only a first preview we're working on, and we are looking forward to hearing more about your thoughts. Bring back Starfall raid deaths. I think that's exactly what we need. It's called, I always get it confused, but it's one where you just have 20 stars fall from the sky randomly. It can pull enemies from like an 80 yards. I loved that. I thought it was great. None of the raids did. I thought it was great. I thought it was perfect. So Professions revamp, that's the next one, and new HUD and interface. Do I even care about that? You know what? Let's see what I don't care, but at the same time, I gotta know. I'm interested in, just because it's like, well, what does it even matter at this point? What are you trying to do? Keep up with CurseForge or something like that? We'll save people a trip. It's been some time since we've updated our UI, and technology has advanced since we first developed it in 2004. Oh, you only noticed now that it looks the same as it always has? Players now have larger monitors, and the development team has better tools to look at revamping the UI to accommodate the times. How about you focus on a few other things first? With the update in Dragonflight, we wanted to create a layout that would allow players to customize and move elements of the UI around their screen to better fit their needs. We recognize that add-ons today provide many opportunities for players to customize their experience, but not all players use them, no. With the help of our user research team, we are working to meet the goals of community needs and add those elements to the base UI. This allows us to add new functionality, improve accessibility, and make aesthetic updates to the art. On one hand, all joking aside, I think this is greatly needed, because they're right. A lot of people don't use add-ons. It's a little complicated for some people. And when you're trying to sell this to a friend who doesn't know very much, and they see an outdated UI in a game that it has graphics as good as this, they're going to be like, well, can you teach me? And if you're not there to show them what to do, a lot of times they're just going to get fed up and not want to do it. And it is a very dated, it is old. It's old. So I think, at least in retail, yeah, update it. In classic, don't bother. Especially if it's really just going to be because of Evoker. Don't. I don't think they should change that, though. Ooh, that's going to be cool. A key component to our changes is maintaining the charm and personality of the UI that players have been using for the past 18 years while presenting a more modern take. You'll see these changes, you'll see with these changes, the minimap and health bar. What is wrong with me? Health bar and I'll explain what's wrong with me. As soon as my mouth gets dry, I'm like, get a drink of water. And then I start stumbling over my words. You'll see with these changes, the minimap and health bar appear larger. We've removed some of the clutter to provide more visibility to your gameplay as well. Have they seen how some of these people play? Numbers, icons, things just everywhere. It's flashing. You can't even see the game. As part of maintaining that, yet we've also taken the time to update the griffins and wyverns on the action bar at the bottom of the screen. I don't even know what the hell they look like now. It's been so long. I've been updating. I've been using custom UIs forever now. I don't even know what it looks like anymore. Not only will you be able to move various elements of the HUD around the screen, but each component has various set of options. Use that. And yeah, that doesn't matter. There's talents, and I'm assuming professions, revamp, and that's it. That's the reveal. Weaving the story. So we'll go back to this and we'll keep scrolling and we'll see what happens. New level cap. I thought they weren't going to raise the level cap. I hate that I've been lied to. Damn it. No, this is a reveal, so I guess it doesn't really matter. I did say I like having a lot of points to put into, so if they're gonna go back to the other thing, I'll take leveling. Yeah, I'll just tell Allison, like, don't just, it isn't leveling like you think it is. I'll convince her it's like some sort of what's it called, battle pass. I'll be like, yeah, they're gonna do it every patch. So I'll be like, you're an idiot if you think I'm gonna believe that. That's probably her right now. Oh, I texted her we could shoot at things as in play Destiny, and I what I read it was, I'd like to see that. And it's like, what does she think we're gonna shoot at? I want to play a video game, not commit some felonies. Image cinematic still. Yeah, is this that there's nothing I really ooh, wait. I take that back. See, this is the type of area that I like. I hate Europa in Destiny 2. It is the friggin' worst. You're just going to be on your bike trying to complete a mission and a goddamn snowstorm picks up and it's like, I live in Canada. I don't want to see this. And you just start getting like angry and anxious and you start looking out the window, especially lately. It snowed. I'm allowed to have depression right now. It's April. It rained, it hailed, it snowed, and melted in basically 24 hours. I'm not even looking at these. I'm so traumatized. Ah! I'm kidding. I can hear myself a little better, and I like the sound of my own voice, so I'm going to be a little more talkative. That is a goofy looking... I've been trying to come up with something to say, but there's nothing. It's just a stoned elephant. These are some very metal looking animals. Like, they're muscular, they got big horns. I love it. This is making me think of the Blood Elves. So I like that. Oh, this is from the trailer. I might make that the background. Allison will kill me, but I'll ask her. I'll be like, please. I can't tell her what to do. Until I finally successfully land a job again, she gets to tell me what to do. She's like, get under my foot, bean. Unfortunately, I'm like 10 times her size, so it's just awkward, if anything. This is kind of cool. This is what I mean. This stuff makes me think of some of the... And I mean, these are in every expansion. There's always gates like this everywhere, but they oddly make me think of the Blood Elf leveling area, so... I want to go here. I just want to go here because it looks cool. Makes me think of like a couple of places from Legend of Zelda that I can't quite remember the names of. One of them is kind of like the... You know, Wind Waker, the tower with the big hand in the face. I don't know what it's called. But it's over top Hyrule there. That's one of the things it's making me think of. And we're back around. Cool. I signed up for the beta because I'm a beta. No, I'm kidding. I can make a joke about myself at least. And I guess that's it. That's the update, because I am not going to sit through a video of a bunch, like I said, a bunch of people talking, so you can sit through a video of me talking. I think that's it, huh? That's all? So then it's time to just hop into the World of Warcraft. No, I'm kidding. I'm just gonna double check. Close this. Close this. Which one is this? Oh yeah. So transition in the greatest but worst segue. I'm sure if you've been on the internet, y'all know the king of sitting around and being awesome, Asmongold. Despite never having played a game in the series, streamer Asmongold doubts Marvel's Avengers will be in Kingdom Hearts 4. And I'm not gonna lie, I agree. I don't even need to read it yet. I agree. Why? Because they're big enough on their own with enough confusing things happening within their video games, within their films, within the comic books area. There's just too much happening right now for it to be feasible to stick them into another franchise and it not be confusing when you can already kind of say this is uniting a whole bunch of worlds. So they would be better to keep them separate. And I think it's cool they're tossing in Star Wars, but at the same time, I kind of think it's a bad idea. I kind of think it's too much now. I think it's going to get out of hand, and they're going to balloon and pop, and it's going to suck. But despite admitting to having no experience with the crossover series, popular video game streamer Asmongold has doubts over whether Marvel's Avengers will be a part of the Kingdom Hearts 4 due to what he perceives as a clash in styles and themes. Very much. Very, very, very much. Kingdom Hearts is way too edgy for Marvel. Way too edgy. The 2.9 million Twitch subscriber boasting World of Warcraft streamer shared his opinion while watching the Kingdom Hearts 4 reveal trailer during a recent stream. Oh my god, don't they know that he quit World of Warcraft? Though he found himself bemused by the game's hinted plot elements, impressed with the graphics, and amazed by its potential gameplay, he would eventually admit to his viewers, you know what? I've never played a Kingdom Hearts game before in my life. I basically played them all. Have I beaten them all? Hell no. God damn. There are some terrible fucking games in that series. And I'm dropping that just because, like, holy cow. Now, it's also because I suck at them. And, nope, I only didn't beat Chain of Memories. Never mind. I think I'm lying there. I basically just think it's Chain of Memories. Yeah. Because I just thought of that. I did Kingdom Hearts 1, 2, and 3. The only thing I haven't done is the DLC in 3. I should admit that. But I've played all of the handheld ones. 365 over 2. Dream Drop Distance. That one where you play as Aqua, Terra, and Ventus. And I didn't play the phone game because they were nuts for doing that. That was stupid. They should never have done that. Just release a book. I've seen a lot of people play it. I kind of know what happens in the game in general, but I've never actually played it myself. He explained, I don't know why I didn't get a PS2 until a little bit later in its life cycle. And by that time, I was really into Halo, so I didn't play it a whole lot. I was into both. I was lucky. I was fortunate. Divorced household. Sometimes you get gold. Sometimes you get, As Asmongold mused on how much Kingdom Hearts 4's gameplay could be scripted and showed an interest in playing it at launch, he showed a disgust at the prospect of at least a Disney propriety joining the game. A fan asked, can Marvel appear in this due to their ownership of Disney? Asmon scoffed, bro, if there's one thing that I've learned about intellectual property over the years is that no one really knows the answer to that, except probably for a cabal of overpaid lawyers that work at either of those companies before reaching the indecisive conclusion. I think so, maybe. I hope not. I feel like Avengers doesn't really fit with the theme. Like, personally, I don't think the Avengers fit with the theme of Kingdom Hearts. I think maybe something like, I don't know, the Hulk. Maybe the Hulk does, kind of. No. And I feel like my paranoid brain's like, he's targeting that at you. And it's like, yeah, that's just because it's the Hulk, man. And now he's basic. That's the only carrot on a stick that would be like, yes, Hulk and Kingdom Hearts. But no, because I feel like you'd need to spend an entire game with the characters to really understand. So they'd have to come with you. It'd have to be like they'd always be there, and that'd be stupid. It would kind of be dull. He further opined, I feel like Kingdom Hearts seems a lot more lighthearted, but then again, you have someone like Sephiroth too, so I don't know. It depends. Yeah, but it's because it goes to both ends of those spectrums, but it's not a serious series. Whereas Marvel, for all it tends to be a little more serious. Well, a little more. Look at the friggin' photo here. We got this dude jumping around. You're gonna have a duck and a dog following them. And yes, okay, they've got something like that. And just play Kingdom Hearts. You'll understand a little better. You know what Kingdom Hearts always felt like to me? Like Super Smash Brothers, but they're all on the same team. Before rolling back his declaration by observing, but also straight up, they have some crazy ass characters in Smash Brothers now too, right? Like it's hard to say to give a definitive answer as to no. It just doesn't really make sense until the story would be in front of you and you play it and you you do it. But until then, you're basically throwing darts at a wall, going like, well, they could go any way. And there are actual parts of Kingdom Hearts games that I just don't think, and because I've played them, I just don't think that's what they should have done. And if they end up doing Avengers and it sucks, that's what I'm going to end up saying. And if it's good, I'm going to change my mind. I actually, when Kingdom Hearts, because what the hell? They've been out since I was in 2002. I was like 8 or something like that. There are just some things in these games that don't carry well, that aren't fun. But the story is what keeps bringing me back. In the end, the story is usually solid. That's a problem. Just like, if I'm going to be honest, I was talking about it earlier. As much as I love the Little Mermaid movie, I hated the levels. They're confusing. They're difficult. They're Kingdom Hearts 2 was great. Yeah. It's just there's Ariel's World. I think Ariel's World in 2 is worse than it was in 1. At least you didn't have to like swim up that weird hole. I just couldn't stand I'm glad you didn't even need to do it at all. Of course, I didn't know that because I'm stubborn. Oh, my hand's too close to that. However, later games featured... Asmongold's doubt over Earth's mightiest heroes entering the world of Kingdom Hearts is understandable, as from an outsider's perspective, the series appears to strictly cross over Final Fantasy games and Disney's core animated project. However, later games featured not only worlds and characters inspired by Pixie CGI creations such as Monsters, Inc. and Toy Story, but also live-action appearances from the cast and locations of Pirates of the Caribbean franchise. I don't think it was their live-action counterparts. It was just the characters. Live-action characters. And to be honest, Pirates of the Caribbean was one of the worlds I didn't really like. I love I love those movies. I keep wanting to put them on, but because I'm scatterbrained. The lighthearted series has also dealt with its fair share of death and fates worse than death. The Kingdom Hearts 4 trailer even ending with Donald and Goofy seeking out Hades in the underworld, whereas depending on the medium, the Avengers have taken to toning down their own violence and darker themes for younger audiences. Yeah, see, that's kind of what I mean in some ways, but at the same time, they do deal with death. Like when, like the storyline they did for No Way Home, you know, it's after Aunt May's gone and all these other things go wrong in his life. As such, it's possible a marketable version of Earth's Mightiest Heroes could land in that sweet spot of the series maturity level. But I don't think it would be like, it would just... they're already too goofy. They're already too weird. Like, just kind of stick to... I don't even care if they do Moana or other Disney things. Like, that's what I think gave it its charm. You start adding in Marvel Comics, and at that point, why not just start approaching other companies to be like, do you want to put your advertising in our game? It's like, no, come on. Get it out of here. And I love the Marvel Avengers game. I still play it. I still go on every so often. I think it's wonderful. If you want Avengers, go play that. They gave it to us. It just didn't come out the way we wanted it, so they got to No Man's Sky it or give up on it. And so far, I'd say they're No Man's Sky it. A little slower, but... Further, both Marvel and the concept of superheroes have already subtly woven their way into Sora's adventures. Yes, and that was, you know, that kind of worked. But then again, they already had a similar style. Maybe that might be the problem. Itself based on a Marvel team of the same name. Yeah, and I don't want... That doesn't... I don't care. It doesn't count. What storyline are you going to tell? That's going to be what people are going to say. What do you think they're going to do? Well, maybe they might go with the Cosmic Gauntlet. What if they decide to just do that little town where it turns out they turned, I almost called him Hitler into a Nazi. Captain America into a Nazi. What if and then because they're not going to be original. It's not going to be an original story. None of the worlds are original. They're all that's what I mean. So it's like it's gonna either everybody's gonna be divided. I don't know. I just don't think they should. Fans have also theorized, even at this early stage, that Kingdom Hearts 4 Worlds may pull on Disney's live action films and TV shows. Oh, Jesus Christ. Others, meanwhile, have assumed Sora's realistic design may just be his regional outfit in the Quadrant world, much like how his clothes and even his body changed when entering the worlds of films such as Lion King, Monsters, Inc., and The Nightmare Before Christmas. This? Well, yeah. It's just going to be like, it's another world, so he's been squashed into a more realistic look. Now, it's probably going to have, like, this base design underneath is probably going to stay in some way. Because look, these two look the way, like that. But yeah, they really don't. Son of a gun. Some have even speculated that the failure of Marvel's recent video game efforts, particularly the Crystal Dynamics developed Marvel's Avengers, may lead Square Enix to angle away from including publisher's premier super team. While Marvel was a box office bombshell at its peak, Marvel's Avengers resulted in a $48 million loss for Square Enix 2 months after launch and even failed to offset its initial development costs. 1 year later, Square Enix presidents admitted that the game produced a disappointing outcome, while also noting the Marvel's Guardians of the Galaxy undershot initial expectations. Do you think Avengers can be part of Kingdom Hearts 4? No. Like I said, they should kind of stick to continuing to fix this, because it still does have a couple of things that need to be ironed out. I still think they need to be able to jump in to things midway. Because whenever you lose somebody partway through a raid in Avengers, I don't know if it's still like this because we haven't done one, and there's been an update since then. So if they did, awesome. But there was if somebody disconnected for whatever reason, you couldn't find a new player. Like with Destiny, if somebody disconnects, they just fill the slot automatically, and unfortunately, your buddy loses out, and I hate that. That isn't much better. But yeah, no, I don't think they should be in it. I think it would take away from the overall actual story, and we're basically just advertising for Disney, and that's it. And I know that's basically what Kingdom Hearts is just nostalgia selling. You get to interact with these characters without actually making a full game, but there's a pretty, cool, epic story that goes with it, and its own style, with its own rules and ideas that they hold, I'd say, pretty well to. It's just there's so much to play. It's dumb. That's what's dumb. This is so much. And Chain of Memories sucks. I'd say the best handheld one was the one with Terra, Aqua, and Ventus. Dream Drop Distance, or whatever it was called, was pretty cool. That one got me nostalgic and all that, and I thought I kind of wish I knew what happened to it so I could go play it every so often. So maybe that one I was a little fond of. 365 over 2. Birth by Sleep. Have I been saying Birth by Sleep and I didn't know it? Because I'll go and take a nap somewhere. Yeah, Birth by Sleep. So there's Dream Drop Distance, Birth by Sleep, 365 over whatever, and shoot. Now what am I forgetting? Because now all I can think of is that Final Fantasy handheld. 365. Chain of Memories. I hate Chain of Memories. So I should have just not even thought about it. I should have just let it go. Ah! Well. So yeah. Final thought. I kind of don't want. I think they should stay separate, because what are you gonna do? What? Sora's not like the same type of hero in this case. Are they gonna fight AIM? That's my problem. Are they just gonna reuse assets nobody wants to see, really? Like, I like Marvel's Avengers game. I'm not saying a bunch of people do. Both. What are you kidding me? I played it. I played it. Well, I wouldn't say I played it on the PS2. I played it on the SP, and then I played it on because that's why I keep calling it the handheld. That's the first time I played it was on the handheld, and then I played it again on the PS4 there, that bundle, and or is it a movie on that? Either way, I know I started it. I didn't get 5 seconds into it. I got angry, and I'm like, I am playing anything else. I'll play a classic Mario game. That's what I'll do. I don't know why I can't stand Chain of Memories. Like, it basically does boil down to the card aspect, but I also think the story for me every time I play, I honestly can't tell you what it is. It's just every time I start playing it, I find it's just dull. It feels like nothing you do matters by the end, which I recognize is basically the problem with all of them, and I think that's the issue. Is right at you basically see the formula right then and there. Sora's always going to end up losing. By the end of the game, everything you've done doesn't matter because he ends up dead, back where he started, floating in space, being rewritten again. Because isn't there like another phone game Recoded or something like that, where it's just Chain of Memories 2.0 or something? I don't know. Now I've got to look that up. Oh shoot. Window. Yeah, have fun, and that's what I mean. Like, there's just too many of these stupid games. I love them all, but oh my god, it's got to end eventually. Anyways, yeah, I've got to move on to another article anyway. So close that. Director Colin Trevorrow. This I talked about, I think, a few weeks ago. I don't think I made it into a cut, and I wanted to because I really like Jurassic Park. I've read the books, the first two. I don't think there's really any more than those, unless they do those stupid movie adaptations. But I read the first two. I love them. I'm a huge fan. Of course, I'm a huge fan of Ian Malcolm. I almost call him Malcolm Tucker. Ian Malcolm. And I think there's some great literature there. Well, thank you for stopping by. I'm just starting to go on about this Gigantosaurus thing because I really do like Jurassic Park, and sure, times are changing and people can have what they want, but oh my god, what's my twitchy fingers today? This I thought was a really ridiculous statement though from the director. Calls Gigantosaurus in Jurassic World Dominion like the Joker. I don't even really know what that's supposed to mean. Like, of course, I understand. But at the same time, we're talking about a dinosaur. He could have... it would have been better if he went with, like, Jaws or something like that. Or if he decided to say, like, you know what? They should have made Compies the new villain and make it like... There are already B movies at this point. What is it called? The little... Piranha 3D. There we go. Make it like Piranha. I would have loved that. Well, okay, no, okay. I gotta be careful there. Because Piranha had an interesting concept with the little prehistoric piranhas busting out and, being crazy. That's what made me think of it. Should have thought about that before. But Jurassic World Dominion will introduce a new dinosaur that shall serve as a villain of this final installment in the new Jurassic trilogy. And the director, Colin Trevorrow, is comparing it to the one movie and comic book bad guy that stands above them all. Yeah, like, of course. But at the same time, what is that? Like, why? Called the Gigantosaurus or Giga. Am I saying it wrong? Gigantosaurus. Trevorrow insinuates the latest prehistoric villain is bigger than the Indominus Rex, deadlier than the Indoraptor, and so cunning it stands tall with the clown prince of crime in Gotham himself in a way. Yeah, in his own prehistoric way. I wanted something that felt like the Joker. This is the part that confuses me and makes me laugh a lot. Trevorrow said an exclusive with Empire going behind the scenes of Dominion. It just wants to watch the world burn. You know what? It's kind of late. If anybody felt like they were born or created in the wrong era. It's this dinosaur, and because its whole world did burn. I don't even know why you would do that though. And yeah, and then they're gonna make Blue like Batman. He's just gonna have a thing on his eyes. It's not proven if dinosaurs know the difference between good and evil or can gleefully revel in the latter, but should it be the case in the it's just such a funny thing. Primordial brain of the Giga, he has to go through the one and only T-Rex to enjoy some flickering embers. So like they're gonna have that's it, that's what it's gonna be. It's gonna be Tyrannosaurus Rex versus okay, that's fine. That's still cool. New high-res images released by Empire that you can find in the tweet below show the beginnings of a confrontation. Like Rex, the Giga is a real dinosaur and not genetically engineered from scratch by InGen. Okay, cool. As a matter of fact, in Dominion, he's not a product of their efforts at all. Giga was cloned from a sample preserved in amber by a rival company we haven't seen in years. The name Biosyn might sound familiar to longtime sharp-eared fans of Jurassic Park. They were the ones who implanted Dennis Nedry in the park to spy and sabotage and collect embryos, which he did in vain. While they're back. Yay! We're going to just tie it back somehow. Biosyn got the contract to house the dinosaurs that have been captured around the world via various governments. Trevorrow explained, they claim it's a research facility where they can study the pharmaceutical values of the animals, but there's other stuff going on. Yeah, they're kind of enhancing them, I guess. Is that what they're going to do? He had a very ambitious and forward-thinking young man, played by Mauritanian actor Mamoudou Athie, will emerge from Biosyn, teasing either a new human enemy with his own agenda or series' next John Hammond. Why would you do that now? Because if it's ridiculous and nobody wants it, the guy is going to be like the opposite. Everybody's going to remember him as the anti-John Hammond. Details on him are scarce, but his true nature ought to be revealed by the time Jurassic World Dominion hits theaters on June 10th. Oh yeah, that's... Yay. Until then, fan art by character modeler Sebastian Everard, with the help from Photoshop, is giving us our clearest glimpses at the Gigantosaurus in all its terrifying glory. Kind of looks like a raptor, that's all. We need more teeth, is that what we need? Below is an image that's night and day with the fearsome looking one above, as in it's clear as day in broad daylight. What do you mean? Like, the last one was at night and this one's in the day? You don't need to be funny with the article. You can just tell me what you want to tell me. If you had a visceral reaction to the Giga, or it leaves you with the same impression as the Joker, then give us the details below. I think it looks cool. But every time you tell me that it's the Joker, it better laugh. I mean it. I want to hear this thing running around, like seeing raptors tearing people apart inside of a city, and all you hear is like it laughing from afar. I mean, why else say it's like the Joker? You got to make it do something funny now. It's got to be goofy. I pulled it up. I think I read this one and I didn't care for it. It's actually the next one I cared for. The CW's Arrowverse shows like Batwoman will be reportedly rebooted. Why am I reading the HTML thing up there? Will reportedly be rebooted, Final Crisis style event rumored. I thought they already did that. Like, that's basically why I stopped watching. A relatively new rumor claims that under possible restructuring of DC Entertainment, that producer Greg Berlanti and his Arrowverse shows on the CW will be rebooted. I don't know how to segue between this stuff, so just keep up. No. But I used to watch Arrow. I had stopped in season 5.5 because I couldn't take it anymore. I hated mid-season finales. I hated sitting there for Christmas waiting for nothing. It's like, and then you come back and you got to watch a couple of episodes. You don't have to. I mean, I enjoyed it at the time, but at that point, I just had stopped. And Flash, would have been around the same time. Whatever season it was up to, I think would have been one behind, so 4.5. I hadn't watched Supergirl. I watched a little bit of that time traveling one with the team there. Guy from Doctor Who, Rory. This rumor comes from longtime scooper Mikey Sutton during an appearance on Sil Abdul's YouTube channel back in February, discussing a complete restructure of DC Films and their television properties in a more cohesive unit that Sutton describes as DC Studios. I've covered an article released a couple of days ago. If you guys want to go and check out the video, you can find it on my channel on YouTube and Rumble. As part of this discussion, Sutton states there are some changes. Oh yeah, I forgot. I was going to say something about that. My bad. So basically, they're having restructuring. They're going to be going through some restructuring over the next couple of months over at DC. They're going to be changing the name, it seems. A lot of people getting kicked out. Walter Hamada seems to be expected to step down or hand over the reins willingly either way. So, as part of the discussion, Sutton states there are some changes when CW shows end up on HBO Max. There's some massive rebooting going on. One of the things that Warner Brothers Discovery CEO David Zaslav, that's a name that we're going to have to get used to going forward, is to have a cohesive universe between the TV shows and the films. So Batwoman and whatever surviving shows are going to be rebooted into kind of like the Flashpoint timeline that we're talking about. The reboot, even that's not going to stick. He elaborated because what Zaslav wants is as much as possible is to have all these shows in the same universe. Okay, why does that suit look kind of cool? But hers still looks goofy as hell. I'm saying it looks cool because I'm assuming that comes down over his face. But that is a cool suit. Kind of looks like the Turbo Man suit, just painted black in a way, but I think it's cool. I feel bad for this helmet. That's like the worst part of it. Everything else looks kind of cool. Sutton then asserted, so the Titans show and Superman and Lois, and there is a way of making them merge. We have all these storylines. You have Crisis, should I say, Final Crisis? Because that's going to start getting you guys going crazy. Oh yeah, he knows. He's like, I've read a couple of these things. I got a Final Crisis lying around. Mine's in a completely, totally different room. But there's going to be hey, there it is. But there's going to be a way of putting these shows except Matt Reeves in his own little pocket thingy. Oh, that sucks. Poor fella. And they have to honor those old agreements anyways. That's nice. That's good. But okay, so the Batman didn't turn out to be that bad. I actually ended up liking it, but I like long movies, and maybe I like boring movies, and maybe I'm the enemy, perhaps, because I like really, in terms of good, bad, it's not like Dirty Jobs or Dirty Jobs with Norm Macdonald there. It's not funny like that. The action was pretty good. I liked the ending. I thought the bit where it was cool. I don't want to say too much without spoiling it until it comes out on HBO Max, but am I excited for the spin-offs now? 1, 2, and 3. Boom. Get them out of here. Move on to the next product. Let me consume. No, I'm kidding. Don't go crazy. So there's going to be new exceptions to the rule. You can't make J.J. Abrams all of a sudden force him into this new timeline. So they're trying to be Elseworlds that are going to be exceptions to the rule. Okay, that's pretty cool. I've learned a little bit about Elseworlds over the years, but every time I learn about something new in them, you just kind of forget something, right? But again, he wants to downplay. Sporadically, you're going to have these alternate pocket universes, but for the most part, there's going to be a DCEU. There's going to be a DCEU going forward, a connected universe. Yeah, because that's the way of competing with Marvel. It's not a way of copying them, but it works. Yeah, you innovate. You take what's already been done and you just make it a little bit better. Oh. The CW is currently up for sale with an email from CW boss Mark Podowitz to employees reading, first, as many of you are aware, over the past year or so, this transformative time in our industry has led to a series of business activities. Well, it's just boring jargon. Oh my God. Are exploring strategic opportunities to optimize the value of their joint venture in the CW network. It's too early to speculate what might happen, but we promise to keep you updated as we learn more. So long as it's nothing as boring as you made me just read there. So what does that mean for us right now? It means we must continue to do what we do best, make the CW as successful and as vibrant as we have always done it. Vibrant as in like new and shiny to people, because look, I think the color palette Man of Steel was spot on. I don't want to go to a movie and be blinded, We have a lot of work ahead of us with more original programming than ever. Oh, slow down there. Don't get too original. Look at Halo. Oh my god! I keep forgetting to watch that piece of shit. It's too early to speculate what might oh wait, sorry. I got all turned around. That's how bad Halo is. The season's expansion to Saturday night are growing digital and streaming platforms, and we thrive when we come together and build a CW together, Podowitz concluded. Mark Podowitz, yeah. The network did renew The Flash as well as Superman and Lois for new seasons. I actually am interested in Superman and Lois, but that's only because it kind of looks good, and Tyler Hoechlin has been good in a couple of things, so can't be the worst waste of time I've watched. The renewal marks 9 seasons for The Flash and a 3rd season for Superman and Lois. That's good. I don't know how the hell you keep doing The Flash. Like, didn't Arrow end after 8? What did they do for him? They're just like, well, make him run real fast until he forgets what he's done. Stargirl season 3 is expected to air sometime later this year. I have heard of this one like 4 times, and that is it. And I don't blame them for the marketing. It's just every guy likes a pretty girl, but that's not enough to make me want to watch a show. Especially not one about superheroes, unfortunately. I kind of like, that's what I think is really funny, is I really do like that joke where people are like, it's pretty homo that you want to watch 2 big muscly men go at it and fight. It's like, yeah, I'm not the only one. That's why the WWE is still going. At least mine are fictional people and green. And, these people pay more to go down to watch big sweaty guys slide around with each other. To each their own, it's no less different than the other. The CW has not renewed its other superhero shows, which include Batwoman, Naomi, and DC's Legends of Tomorrow. That one's not surprising. Previous Arrowverse shows such as Supergirl, Black Lightning, and Arrow have already been they were canceled? Wow. Oh wait. I think I did know that. Because it did start to suck in that last season and nobody wanted his kids to take over. The CW is developing a Gotham Knights series as well. This is I think a huge mistake. I think that's going to go bad. As for HBO Max originals like Titans, a season 4 is in the works as announced at DC Fandom. However, a release date has not been announced because they got to finish it, I guess. Doom Patrol will also receive a 4th season. It is expected to arrive sometime later in 2022. I kind of knew that it was going to look goofy. And I don't care what anybody says. There's really no way. The reason it looks good in the comics is because you can make it very thin and as close to the actual. But in real life, Red Hood with that big dome thing on his head is going to look pretty stupid. No matter how we slice it. So, I think this is as best as we're going to get. And if I have to be honest, I'd say that's that's like a solid 8. The longer I look, I'm like, that's a nice 8. All you're doing is ahead. You don't need to do anything else for Red Hood. Not if you're going to bring him to the real world. Nightwing over here kind of looks like he's made of rubber, but that's fine. He's being punched most of the time. I don't know what's going on with Thor: Love and Thunder, so I'm going to leave that for later. I don't really care. Oh, this should have been next to the other one. So this is kind of what I was talking about earlier with Walter Hamada being ousted from DC Warner Brothers. I think I had read this one, so really I just want to jump down to right up here. Zaslav is already looking into how to improve the DC films by restructuring it similar to Marvel Studios. Like he said, I showed in the other article, they don't want to copy, they just want to do what works. That I like. Reading between the lines, it sounds like Hamada isn't one of those candidates because people are being fired. Like I said, he doesn't seem like he's going to be sticking around one way or another. There was gossip of Zaslav either removing DC Films or transforming it into DC Studios. That's what I meant by it getting a rename. That would consolidate everything in the DC banner. Hamada isn't expected to continue with either decision. I think I said that that's what I was. If I said that exactly, I was quoting that there. That said, it's added Hamada's ouster won't be as immediate as Zaslav and the whole operation are still in transition. As such, the bloodbath, as it is dubbed, will be a creep and drip slowly, waiting for Hamada to pass the baton personally, right? What a way to make him sweat it out. Honestly, I don't think he was the only biggest issue there. I think there was a lot of other problems going on. if people have been following the Flash thing, I'm gonna leave it for a little longer there. Ezra Miller, I don't want to be. I feel bad for his victims, but it's just this is hilarious. This is just funny. He's a one-man crime spree in Hawaii. He's going nuts. He's mugged people. He's attacked other people. He was in a karaoke bar over the weekend. He stole the microphone and swung at someone. I think it was a bouncer. It's hilarious. I'm sorry. Like, oh, I think it's just wonderful. Not wonderful in a good way, but like wonderfully funny, I should say. I got to pick my words a little better on the. Everybody's going to try and take it out of context in a way. But just imagine that. Like, at this point, with the way Hollywood works, is he really the worst thing? Like what we know goes on in Hollywood. Really? This is where we're going to draw the line? A man just... I shouldn't say a man because I think he's they, them. I thought being a they, them made you immune to criticism and a lot because you're an ally. Perhaps it isn't. Maybe somebody should tell Ezra this. It's hilarious. Do they say we'll go with what the article goes. By the Flash star Ezra Miller in his recent tear. So there we go. Across the island. The couple who reportedly had their Hawaii hotel room invaded by the Flash star Ezra Miller during his recent tear across the islands are no longer pursuing a restraining order against the actor. According to court documents obtained by Fox News, the Associated Press, a judge dismissed the petition for the order on Monday at the couple's request. Their lawyer declined to comment to Fox Tuesday as to why they were dropping the petition after accusing. Yeah, I did read this, so they're dropping it because it doesn't really matter. It was only needed to prevent future harassment, and it's not going to happen anyway because, when are they ever going to run into each other? It's basically just for their time on the island. A hearing is on in a second and separate case against Miller resulting from one of his wild nights on the Big Island is currently scheduled for April 26th, the same day the Flash film's prequel comic Fastest Man Alive is set to be released. That's great. That's some great advertising. You got to put it out like that. Catch him in court, catch him in the comic stands. In this case, police were look at him. Look at this man. I don't think he should be recast at all. Not unless you're willing to start recasting all the other people who are a problem in Hollywood. In this case, police were called to the scene when Miller, blocking a sidewalk, was uncooperative and refused to leave the area of downtown Hilo on March 19th. And then what did he do? This would not be the last of Miller's Hawaiian arrests. A few nights later, on March 27th, authorities were called to the Margarita Village Bar in Hilo. This is the karaoke thing. Shouting obscenities, grabbing a microphone from a woman singing karaoke, and lunging at darts players. It wasn't the bouncer. I take that back. Arrested and charged for disorderly conduct and harassment, Miller made bail for $500 and was released. The couple involved in the hotel incident filed the petition for a temporary restraining order the next day. Fair enough. This is just funny. Wow. Doesn't really matter if he's just gonna pay a fine and walk away. Watch. He's a Hollywood star. That's all they do. They're never gonna be away for a couple of years in prison. If anything, they just have to run away to France or Greece, and everybody's like, oh, they're so brave. This I actually kind of want to read. Because I get the feeling that this is happening because Chris Pratt is outspoken about his faith, and that is actually something very hard to do, no matter what your faith is. It doesn't matter where you go. There will always be somebody, whether you're a Christian, there will be atheists, Muslims, Jews, everything speaking out, and then just take it and take one, swap it for the other, and just do the same. There will always be somebody harassing somebody else, and it is always difficult to just say what you believe in. So you just do it. Don't be violent with it, but just speak your truth. If that's what they want to say. That's the cool thing to say now. A number of what can only be described as morally sick Twitter users took to the social. Oh yeah, I should probably. Well, yeah, I'm going to be jumping back and forth. So I'll keep them up as I'm closing out of them. I'll keep them up and I'll put them in. A number of what can only be described as morally sick Twitter users took to the social media platform to not only accuse Chris Pratt of homophobia, but mocked him following the release. Excuse that. Of the teaser trailer for Thor: Love and Thunder. Doesn't look good. And I'm not saying that, like, I'll say it now. I was wrong about Thor Ragnarok. I ended up liking it a lot, but I hated the trailers. I thought they were all terrible and they were all poorly advertised. So maybe to provide context, the teaser trailer includes a humorless joke where Pratt Star-Lord tells Chris Hemsworth, "You ever feel lost? Just look into the eyes of the people that love you." No, there's humor there. It's just people. Look, Thor is the one being gay in the situation, so I don't really care. It's if they force him to do the smoochy smooch and Chris is like, no, then yeah. And I don't want to hear anything about, well, his character's bisexual. Then ask him if he wants to let himself be recast. Or ask yourself, is it really that important in a day and age where every film has something like this, that this is included? But it's a funny bit. That was something I did think was funny in the trailer. And I didn't even like the trailer overall. So Thor then proceeds to stare into Star-Lord's eyes while Star-Lord stares at the rest of his Guardians of the Galaxy team because he's found his family and somebody specifically there that he's trying to fix things with. When Thor continues to stare him down, Star-Lord tells him, "Not me." Thor replies, "What? Just listening." Yes, because I don't know. Again, I was wrong about Ragnarok. Perhaps we're all wrong about this. And it's just Thor being like, well, you guys, I'm lost puppy. You guys are the first people to find me. And yes, they're basically doing the first film over again, but at the same time, you look. You gotta reboot Thor at some point. After the second film, nobody's gonna stop and watch the first film, and nobody's going back that far. So I think a little fresh reboot is fine with Thor, with how bungled he was handled. And I don't think anything they've done so far is that big of an issue. And I really don't care, because I don't care for Thor. He's not Hulk. If they did any of this to Hulk, yeah, I'd be furious. I'd be pissed. I genuinely would be pissed. It would be a totally different story. So maybe it's a bit of hypocritical of me, but at the same time, so far it's worked. And like I said, I could be wrong about Love and Thunder. I was wrong about Ragnarok. I like that one. It ended up being better than it really had the right to be. One user tweeted Chris Pratt after Taika Waititi told him he had to do subtly gay scenes with Chris Hemsworth. Wait, did I jump something? Oh no. The user then shared a clip from Glee of one of the teachers tearing the school apart. User, is that what happened? Holy shit, I only read like 2 lines, and they're already acting like he did something, did he? User Manger Shang responded to another user sharing 6 screen captures depicting the scene from the trailer and wrote, Chris Pratt fell to the ground and started hyperventilating and vomiting after filming the scene. That's not even that would be the humorless joke. Twitter user Binabees responded to another user stated, reminder that Peter Quill is canonically bisexual. So user, I don't care how starved we are for representation, I'd rather eat my own foot than see Chris Pratt kiss Thor. Yes. I would rather the characters just not, because Peter Quill is trying to fix things. But okay. Chris Pratt, when he saw that they have made Star-Lord canon by on the comic and Taika was directing his next MCU movie, wrote R. Tenenbaum. I don't know. R. Tenenbaum. There we go. These are also included 2 pictures of a basketball fan breaking down in tears. Why do they say I doubt Chris Pratt is that. And who knows? For the film, he might even do it. I would laugh if he did. If he did exactly everything they wanted, because then they'd have to eat their own foot. They'd have to eat their shoes, hats, whatever. Chris Pratt being forced to play Peter Quill now that he's confirmed. So it's just they basically just kept doing that over and over. Did that happen in the trailer? Because I didn't see that. And that's kind of the other reason is I don't really care why, and that it is in the comics. Because a lot of things happen in the comics that we're never going to have. I hope people know that. Canonical that a lot of things happen in the comics that they'll never put in a film. because of the way people would react. So it's kind of weird that they're like, well, see, you're reacting negatively. Yeah. Yeah. Mitsuki leaks. Chris Pratt ruins everything. How? He hasn't even done anything. Why? Another user wrote, have never watched a single Marvel movie, but I will be watching Thor Love and Thunder solely because I want to see Chris Pratt visibly hold back slurs while taking... What the hell? You guys use slurs all the time. What are you talking about? Everything's a slur nowadays. Chris Pratt reading the script for Love and Thor, it doesn't even matter. Thor, realizing that it's going to get fruity. Chris Pratt, what the hell? How is he homophobic? Look, have you ever played a game before? He's not the one who came up with the rules. Just be totally clear. God is the one who came up with the rules. And whether you want to believe in them or not is irrelevant. It'd be like saying, I don't believe in the rule maker of Monopoly. Okay. Play the game however you want. But if you don't play the game according to the rules, you basically just lose already. And no one's saying you can't. Anybody who, okay, a lot of people are saying you can't because they don't understand what the hell they're preaching in the first place. Do whatever you want. Honestly. I'm not allowed, we're not, there is that one bit about you're not supposed to judge. You are supposed to try and save as many people as you can. But at the end of the day, you can try all you want. But he's not homophobic. And just because he's Christian doesn't make him homophobic. You can't be homophobic in Hollywood. You can't even, like, how would it work? He'd look at one gay couple on the street, throw up, and they'd skewer him. So he's not homophobic. He's Christian, and that's not the same thing. But there is this weird kind of thing going on where they're trying to make the two the same just because it says you can't get into heaven if you do certain things. But I mean, you could be straight, do everything right, masturbate, and still not get into heaven, right? You could do everything right, be an alcoholic, never beat anyone, just be drunk all the time to the point you can't move. And I mean, that's basically why you never hurt anyone, is because you're not moving. That's how drunk you are. You're an alcoholic. You're still like you can't win if you don't follow. And so, yeah, I'm not following all the rules perfectly myself. I don't go to church on Sundays. I should. I'm supposed to. I'm also hyper paranoid and super judgmental, which is another thing I shouldn't be. I get that. But the church is in my town. I would also agree with a lot of people on the Vatican statement, which is part of my problem. There are things I would like to do in my personal life to be able to go to the churches that I would like to choose. And yeah, but that's my point. There are things I have to do before I can even move on into that part of my life. So it isn't the same. And canon by character, is this that whole trans characters have to be played by trans people, like what they did with Scarlett Johansson when she played that trans lady or guy or whatever it was? Because you're not going to have that. And if that's all you care about, then you don't care about the movie, you don't care about the story, you don't care about anything, you just care about your self, which is selfish when it comes to movies. Movies are supposed to be greater than any individual person. They're supposed to unite a bunch of people. And when you look at things at a personal level, you'll see more of yourself and stuff. Like for me, I don't see myself in anything in Lion King except for Rafiki and Timon and Pumbaa. That's what I like. Wise and funny. Am I wise and funny? I don't know. I like to think of myself as that, but that's what I see, right? I don't even want to try. So Marvel confirmed that Peter Quill is bisexual and Thor is pansexual. Please, I feel sorry for Chris Pratt. Like, imagine being homophobic and then you find out that your character is bisexual. This is so humiliating. How is it humiliating? It's a job. You know what's humiliating? Working at McDonald's. Sure, we have to do it anyway. Taika Waititi giggling to himself as he makes homophobic Chris Pratt catch the gay virus. What? See, I kind of lost my train of thought there because it's no more humiliating than sitting around on the internet talking to strangers for nothing. Like that would be the humiliating part. But of course, no, they're gonna go after some guy who makes millions. He doesn't give a shit. He probably would do it. Twitter user, just to prove you guys wrong. Chris Pratt trying his hardest not to scream every homophobic. Why would they think he wants to scream homophobic slurs? Like the only time I want to is whenever it's inconvenient. It's a time you shouldn't do it, and I think it would be funny. Why? I don't know. I got the humor of a 5-year-old. I love the film. What is it? Dirty Jobs. Big time lesbian. Like they're gonna make titles like that and then call him homophobic. Anyway, you just know Chris Pratt was thinking homophobic thoughts the whole time filming and then got offset and started screaming and crying. You mean homophobic thoughts? What do you mean? Like, is it homophobic to say the scene is gay? Because I think it would be homophobic to say the scene isn't gay, because then it would be ignoring the entire Thor looks kind of longingly at him, which is pretty gay. So by erasing it, by saying it's not there, I feel like that would be the homophobic thought. So by him acknowledging that the scene is pretty gay, I think it's actually pretty pro-homo. So, but what do I know? Reminder, Chris Pratt is canonically homophobic. What the hell does that even mean? Canonically homophobic. Reminder that most of the people on Twitter are canonically stupid. Twitter Mark L. Dude tweeted Mark L. Dude in response to a user who wrote, never mind. His church is infamously anti-LGBTQ. You can't look that up. Well, I can look it up, but I don't know that. I can look it up. Elliot Page. I'm just going to move on from that. And a follow-up tweet. Geez. If you're a famous actor and you belong to an organization that hates a certain group of people, don't be surprised. No. I get the feeling, from what I understand, he's a very loving person. I'm going to assume his church is a very loving group because, as far as I can tell, you can love people and still expect them to change and be better, and still love them when they don't get to that point, when they don't rise to that occasion. And you still give them respect. I mean, if we're supposed to all be brothers and sisters and stuff like that, then there's this article you can find about this poor fella in Vancouver in British Columbia who had it pretty rough growing up. And most people would look at him and be like, well, you're just a drug addict deserving of nothing, but he's somebody's son and he deserves to be treated like it. In fact, what is it? There's a bit in Avatar that I liked about that we just finished watching, where Aang points out that Zuko's dad deserves to be thought of as a human being anyway. And I believe that's what Chris Pratt believes as well, and spouts as well, because how else are you able to be so funny? I'm not gonna lie. Go look at a lot of the greatest comedians that have lived, and you'll notice a lot of them have a godly aspect to them. They in their private life, they believe in that. For example, Norm Macdonald. Watch. Speak publicly. Kira Zadon. This is from a speech with him, or a talk he did, or an interview, whatever you want to call it. Genius. I don't know exactly which talk it is, or when he did it. But he says, I find like I have some beliefs that are too inflammatory to even discuss, unfortunately, because there are certain things inside that you're not allowed to believe or speak publicly. And so I'll just never say them. And then, first of all, I hate that we force people into identifying themselves by little tiny. We oppress people. We further oppress them by forcing them to identify themselves as what I consider less than human. So if someone says I'm proud to be black, I go, that's too bad for that guy, because it's a retarded thing to be proud of. We see it with white power. With white power, if someone says, "I'm proud to be white," we see how ridiculous that sounds. But we don't see it when a person says that they've been oppressed. "I'm proud to be black." But it is ridiculous because we've pushed them into a corner where now they're going to spend their whole life identifying themselves by the pigment of their skin, which is a sad waste of life. Or if you say, "I'm proud to be gay," that's what I am, and that's how I live my life. Oh boy, you're really limiting yourself there, and it's too bad. I know you've been forced into it by being pushed down and oppressed, but it's still very, very sad. And I don't think of myself as Canadian, and I think it's a terrible thing to say you're proud to be Canadian or proud to be an American. All that stuff is nonsense. You might as well be proud to have lungs. You didn't accomplish nothing. You were just born somewhere, or you were just born with a skin that's a certain color, or born with a sexual attraction to a certain type of person. That stuff, that's all. It's just little miniature things in life that are so unimportant. And when people try to tell me that God is not important, but that this nonsense is important, I couldn't disagree more. And I believe that. I truly believe that, especially that last bit. When people try to tell me that God is not important, but that this nonsense is important, I couldn't disagree more. They're trying to destroy him based off of his beliefs, much in the same way they believe he would try to tear someone down because of their sexual orientation, something. The hypocrisy is off the charts on their own. And Elliot Page is a Canadian. She should know better. She should be better. She is meant to be, Elliot Page, he. They want a certain level of respect they will never show to other people because of some perceived way they would be treated. And I can't believe it, especially when it's someone who's a Canadian, who's supposed to be, what we're taught in Canada, the nicest group. So sorry if I'm getting a little heated here. It's just it's disgusting behavior by a fellow Canadian, and it shouldn't be happening. Pratt responded via his Instagram stories, writing, "It's recently been suggested that I belong to a church which hates a certain group of people and is famously anti-LGBTQ. Nothing could be further from the truth. I go to a church that's opened their doors to absolutely everyone. Every church is open. You know who the church isn't open to? If it's not open to anyone, if it isn't open to one group, would you like to know who it isn't open to? Those who know. Because those who know and don't need to go because they know what they need to do. Because should all the churches burn up and they're left in the wilderness, they're left without First Communion and wine and all that, they still have to do the right thing. They still have to pick up their pack. They still have to move on and live. Despite what the Bible says about divorce, my church community was there for me every step of the way, never judging, just gracefully accompanying me on my walk. They helped me tremendously, offering love and support. It is what I have seen them do for others on countless occasions, regardless of sexual orientation, race, or gender." And that's the whole message. That's literally it. We don't get to judge. If you come across somebody who's starving and hungry and you can help, you should help. If you can't help, don't. You're not expected to do something you can't do. But you are expected to do something when there is something you can do. Why? And why? Just because. Whether there's a reward for it or not, whether you think it's the right thing to do or not, the best thing to do is always be kind. Somebody's always struggling. And it turns out that in a lot of these cases, that's exactly what's happening. People are struggling and they're trying to hide behind identity politics and cover up what the real issue is. And you can't just walk up to them and point it out. You can't just be like, "Well, the reason you're unloved is because of this. The reason that you can't find this is that." In a way, you got to help them figure it out themselves. You've got to offer them support. Hey, if you ever want to start looking better or start feeling better, we could do this. We could do that. There was actually a great video that I was watching a couple weeks ago about gotta get the name right, otherwise I'm going to say the wrong person. But it was Wings of Redemption. He had friends who were there to support him, and now his depression results in a different outcome. That's basically what a lot of these cases are right now. Is people are depressed, they're sad, they don't know what's going on with themselves. They're learning. Teenagehood is very depressing. It doesn't matter if you're rich or poor. Shit's going on, right? And you're expected to be loved no matter what. My faith is important to me, but no church defines me or my life, and I am not a spokesman for any church or group of people. No, because you really only can speak for yourself. And that's the only person you should speak for. The Guardians of the Galaxy added, actor added, "My values define who I am. We need less hate in this world, not more. I'm a man who believes that everyone is entitled to love who they want, free from judgment of their fellow man." Yes, because at the end of the day, we're not the one who gets. We do not get to decide. Like me, you, the neighbor, and the neighbor's dog do not get to decide who gets into heaven and who goes to hell. In fact, something I really think is one of the reasons why orthodoxy interests me so much is everybody's always going on about how Christianity has forgotten things. It doesn't seem like they've erased anything when you look at orthodoxy. Orthodoxy seems to believe it's all true. For example, the weighing of the hearts and the doors in the Egyptian stories. Well, if it's true, and God says it's also part of something he does, perhaps it was the Egyptians who had it a little bit backwards, because we're down here. We're figuring things out. We're going inch by inch down here. And then he tells us, hey, this, you were close, but this is what it was. So they're called the toll gates. I don't know what they're called in the Egyptian stories, going through different doors to get your soul weighed. But in Orthodoxy, they're called the toll gates. And here, I'll pull them up. Orthodoxy toll gates. And there's a reason why I'm saying this. Ariel toll house. That's it. Sorry, it's the Ariel toll houses. I'm a man who believes that everyone is entitled to who they want, free from judgment. Free from judgment. We don't get to decide, right? We are not that. Not even these guys are that. These aerial toll houses. On one side, you'll be judged by angels. On the other side, you'll be judged by demons or devils or whatever it is. And not judged. Sorry, not judged. I shouldn't. It isn't that. They're not judging you. They're basically, one's acting as your defense and the other one's prosecuting you, right? And I can't even be sure if it's the same side all the way through or what. But the final judgment only comes from God. Not us, not those angels, not the demons or devils or whatever the hell they want to be called. Look, I'm still learning. So Jesus said, I give you the new command, love one another. This is what guides me in my life. He is a God of love, acceptance, and forgiveness. Hate has no place in my or this world. And I agree with that, he concluded. I really like that statement. It is one of the reasons why I like his acting, because I feel like he pulls that with him everywhere he goes, because of the way I've seen other actors and people who that's how they move through their career, and that's how they pull themselves through life. And you're always going to have a low moment. So I wouldn't even, like, it's not outside of the realm of possibility that he wakes up one day a raging alcoholic for 6 months before he comes back. There will always be bad points. That's literally the book of Job. It's bad things happen to people, and they got to pull themselves out of it. They can't just rely on they can't rely on anything. You got to do it yourself. You can rely on God to keep you from giving up entirely and being there to prop you up, but not fix everything. Host of the why not just say Joe Rogan, recently opined that he believes these immoral attacks against Pratt continually happen because of Pratt's faith. Of course. But it basically, because I get it. They feel like they're being told, well, you're not worthy of God's love. That's not even what it's saying. We can play Monopoly, love each other, and you still lose, and be like, well, sorry. And imagine if it's a tournament kind of thing, right? Like, somebody's going to have to go. He's Christian. He's pretty open about it. And because of that, they attack him. And yeah, like, he just believes in Jesus, and he likes to be a good person. They're like, fuck him. Yeah. And it honestly took me a long time to really understand that, because I do know what happens at the Vatican. I do know what happens within the Vatican Catholic or Christians or whatever. And I do get what it's like. And I do understand that they do very horrible things. But then I was reading something one day, and I realized that, hell, it happens just as much with grade schools and high schools. If anything, I found out recently that it's actually worse within the public school system than it is within the Catholic sex scandal crisis. It's just people try to cover it up. But you look at Orthodoxy, I think when I looked it up, there was none. Or what had happened, they had published it, they had talked about it, and they excommunicated the guy entirely. There was no beating around the bush. There was no wondering, it was, yep, get him out of here. We don't want him. You can't, though you can go back to being Orthodox Christian, you're not going to have your position you had before, because you've tainted yourself. It's like eating the apple. You're kicked out. You don't get to come back. And sometimes that's true. But God is a God of forgiveness, so we always have our second chance to get back into heaven. You just got to do it right. Combat Frame Exceed novelist Brian Niemeyer posits that this immoral behavior is a result of what he calls a death cult, as detailed in June 2019 post A Tale of Two Cults. Okay, maybe we can cover that tomorrow. In the post, Niemeyer explains that death cult is a heretical mutant offshoot of Christianity that discards Christian doctrines it doesn't like, warps the others into anti-human inversions of their original purpose, and forces them with rabid zeal. As an example of how members of the cult operates, he notes that they must work tirelessly to smash the patriarchy, bash the fash, and end the scourge of whiteness. Oh, hell yeah. He further notes all of this boils down to relentlessly attacking the Christ and his disciples, though admitting that out loud breaks the death cult's discipline of the secret. Well, yes, because you don't ever, you never go after the thing itself, you go after the people around it, and eventually make anybody ashamed of wanting to talk about it. That's why I said that's why I brought up that speak publicly. Because there are certain things in society that you're not allowed to believe or speak publicly, and so I'll just never say them, and I'll just leave them in my little head. And I didn't like that. I didn't like hearing Norm Macdonald say that, because he said so many crazy things. It's like, but that's the one thing you felt afraid to talk about, and this is why. Like, I don't blame him, and that's why it's so sad. He further notes all this boils down to relentlessly attacking Chris Pratt, who is open about his Christian faith, fits into the modus operandi of a member of the death cult, especially when the teaching on homosexuality and homosexual acts is very clearly stated in the Catechism of the Catholic Church. Was I talking about that Rome place? No. Love all. It's not their fault it's not their fault they had no choice but to follow that Pope. It reads, basing itself on sacred scripture, which presents homosexual acts as a grave act which presents homosexual acts as acts of grave depravity. Tradition has always declared that homosexual acts are intrinsically disordered. They're contrary to the natural law. They close the sexual act. They close the sexual act to the gift of life. They do not proceed from genuine affective and sexual complementarity. Under no circumstances can they be approved, it declares. Sure. The catechism continues. The number of men and women who have deep-seated, homosexual tendencies is not negligible. This inclination, which is objectively, this is more dull than that other lawyer thing. This is just more lawyer speak, which is objectively disordered, constitutes for more of them. Oh, Jesus, I'm not going to try to read that again. They must be accepted with respect, compassion, sensitivity. Yeah, see, they must be accepted with respect. Yeah, it's totally homophobic. Every sign, you keep screaming at God and see what he does. He has changed his, I don't care what anyone says. Oh, he promised he'll never flood us again. That's what rainbows are for. Yeah, and do you know how many times he's broken a promise? And people are like, well, no. He made deals. And he always in our favor, though. Always in our favor. Always in our favor. That's the problem. That's why people forget. But he does change his mind. And he does it for us. Out of love. Because he's like, you might be a bunch of weird little homophobic and gay monkeys, but I love you all. You're the ones who are fighting, shooting each other. I wouldn't even be surprised if it turned out we flooded ourselves. And he's just like, I ain't helping you. Well, no, he did. See, he gave us a warning. He's like, Noah, get the boat. Noah's like, what the hell for? It's only a 2-motor. Homosexual persons are called to chastity. I just love it. But there might have been a reason for it. Again, I had noticed that there was something about spitting in the Bible, but at the same time, there was also a really big thing of leprosy going around back then, right? And apparently it spreads through spit. So I kind of came up with the thought that maybe the curse was the leprosy, and nobody really wants to be spit on anyway, right? You shouldn't be spitting. Now, and we kind of knew that, it seemed. Whether God exists or not, we knew that spitting caused problems. We know it today. That's why you're not supposed to spit on people, because what if you've got the COVID-19? Whatever they want to call it, by the virtues of self-mastery that teach them inner freedom, at times by the support of disinterested friendship, by prayer and sacramental grace, they can and should gradually and resolutely approach Christian perfection. Now, I don't know why that is such a crazy thing for people to get upset over. There's an Eastern tradition. I'll try to find it, but it basically posits if you can keep all of your bodily fluids, all of them, I think, except for, okay, if you can keep your life fluids, so blood, I guess water would count. Anyway, it was in magical Egypt. That's why I said when I can find it, I'll get it exactly. But from what I remember, it's meant to be like, sperm and blood. If you can keep all that within you, don't take an injury, don't. So unfortunately, this is weirdly, and this is I guess is a tradition that women, I guess, were excluded from. But I don't know. That was the Eastern traditions. You basically became perfect after 50 days or 100 days, and then at like 200 days you became like a god. Basically like not masturbating for 40 years. So there's other traditions that think something similar. And while attacks like this on Chris Pratt and others will continue, but instead of fighting fire with fire, this culture war, like those in the past, will be won by following the teachings of Christ. Yeah, just ignore them. Matthew chapter 5, 43, 48 reads, I'm not going to get my big book, so I'm just going to, I don't care what it says until I can confirm it's in the King James Version. You can give me shit all you want for stopping the stream again to look something up. Mark 5. Sorry, where the hell did I get Mark? Matthew 5, 43 to 48. Yeah, I don't need that. 43 to 48. Ye have heard that it hath been said, Thou shalt love thy neighbor and hate thine enemy. But I say unto you, love your enemies, bless them that curse you, do good unto them that hate you, and pray for them which despitefully use you and persecute you, that ye may be the children of your Father which is in heaven, for he maketh his sun to rise on the evil and the good, and sendeth rain on the just and the unjust. For if ye love them which love you, what reward have ye? Do not even the publicans the same? And if ye salute your brethren only, what do ye more than others? Do not even the publicans so? But ye therefore perfect, but ye therefore perfect, even as your Father which is in heaven is perfect. So yeah. The part that's kind of important here, I would say, is loving people who love you is easy. Being kind to those who are kind is the easy part. That's why it was wrong of Will Smith to get up there and slap Chris Rock during a moment of what was arguably a moment of just candor and love. He wasn't up there to be harmful. He wasn't up there being hateful. No one goes out. Not everyone in the world goes out to be hateful. And when they do, they're expecting you to be a certain way. So you have to act in the other way. For example, I call it paradox, but to treat others as you would like to be treated is difficult. It's a paradox because people will walk up to you acting one way and you still have to treat them the other. I am not reading this. I never read these. I'm not going to lie. No. Just use the Bible. This would be note. I'm not reading that either. We're done. Yeah. This I wanted to read on my own, and this is just goofy as hell, and I can save till tomorrow. And I was reading that on my own, so there we go. Booyah! We're done. Not the stream, but now it's time for some World of Warcraft. That's what I'm going to do. Yeah, because Allison will be back by 11. So we'll do 2 hours of like an hour and a half of World of Warcraft, I guess. And I got a new game which I'll air tomorrow. Oh, am I pulling up World of Warcraft Classic? Ah, shit. You know what? If it does launch, so I'm going to go quickly to make something to eat because it's been 2 hours and I'm getting real hungry. So I'm going to be right back. And then we'll do World of Warcraft. I'll get caught up in whatever I got to do to get caught up. Yeah. And we'll be back. I do got to end it early tonight because we got to help Allison relax, shoot up some Destiny. But yeah, I'll do some World of Warcraft until then and just chill. We'll maybe put on some music and just talk about whatever. because I want to explore Shadowlands a little more. And Wrath of the Lich King isn't coming out anytime soon. Oh, you know what? Before I actually start it, we'll pull it up. I want to watch a classic cinematic trailer. Yeah. Don't go anywhere. And we're back. I gotta run back and forth though. I'm cooking. There are no cutscenes anymore. Put that down. Got a little more. So I gotta run back and forth. While I cook. Watch back on now. Are you kidding me? I was gonna say I just put the damn thing on. People are already texting me, but no. Yeah, we'll see what we can get through. I'm probably just gonna be running around rounding things up. I don't even know what the hell I'm gonna do. This might even be a bad idea for content for tonight. I'm just in the mood. I'm just in the mood. I really am. After reading all that, this is what I'm in the mood to do. I'm going to be starting Classic WoW maybe in the next week or so. I just really want to play How I Heal. Am I going to make a How I Heal in Classic? Probably. Probably going to be that dumbass playing a druid. I mean, people need them. Fairy Fire was useful back then. I never used it, but everybody was always telling me, Fairy Fire, Fairy Fire, Fairy Fire. I think I think there were abilities that if you used Fairy Fire, it would give thorns. Any enemy affected by Fairy Fire that hit someone, they'd be affected by thorns. I think that's what it was. It's kind of useful as Druid. Strategy was apply Fairy Fire, let them hit you, jump back and burn them. Now it's just burn them. Well, what's going on? What's up? I don't think anybody's doing a raid or anything. Let me see. Oh boy. Yeah, nothing. At least I'm in like a fairly safe guild. What? It's already done. Frozen. That one's done. Okay. Well, I'll get to that after. Unified effort. What's that? Ada Covenant. Where do I turn this in? Keeper's Respite. Oh, I know where that is. I don't really go there. I think this might have been a bad idea because I'm hungry. I can't think of anything I was going to do originally now. All I could think of was the food. So you know what? I'm going to go hop on. I'll round up all of these quests. That's what I'll do first. You know what? Well, at least for now. It was a pretty rough night. I got through the reading. Things are loading slow. I can't remember what I was going to do in the first place. I think I'm going to call it here for now. If you enjoyed what you watched, awesome. I'm glad. Tonight was not... It's not totally reflective of what I normally do. But just... Hey, if you see me here tomorrow, stop by, say hi. But I can't focus. This happens sometimes. I forget to eat throughout the day. I only eat breakfast and I forget everything else. And I'm trying to do better at that, but scatterbrained. But yeah, I enjoyed that. I hope everybody else did. We'll do some more tomorrow. I want to try... You know what? Maybe that's what I'll do. Tomorrow, maybe I want to do Classic WoW and I just totally thought of doing this instead. Yeah, we'll do Classic WoW. Maybe I'll start Classic WoW tomorrow. And then we'll end with something short. I'm also not gonna have time to do anything. I'm not. Like, Allison's gonna be home in an hour and a half. I'm gonna start. If I'm even able to get a group for raiding, I'd be surprised. I have no skills anymore. I gotta learn to heal every time I say I'm gonna do that. I just join as a DPS. So yeah, maybe I'll change that tonight. Fill that's not hard. What are we, Wednesday? Yeah, okay, so then yeah, I got stuff I gotta do tonight anyway. So yeah, I think we'll call it for tonight. And I'll be here on time tomorrow, 4 o'clock. On the dot. And yeah,